One of the things I've learned during this growing period is that the seasons move no matter how you wish they would slow down. The trees and plants tell you as they respond to some unseen force that tells them it's time to move on, and you move with them or you get left behind. And so, as the garden begins to wind down, I have to shift gears to final harvesting and seed collection. I'm in Zone 9A, so I have a longer growing season. But despite that, the heat and bugs have taken a toll. Almost all the sunflowers are gone, as are the cucumbers. The tomatoes, too, are putting out the last bit of fruit. The upside is that I'm still getting lots of basil, bell peppers, and pole beans. My plan was to be able to eat out of my garden for the summer, and that worked well. Now I needed to move to preserving as much as I could from my decreasing harvest. The first place to start was with all the basil I'd placed in a lot of the beds. I cut as much as I thought I needed and then picked the leaves off to minimize sticks. I laid them out on my air drying station and would come back in about a week once they'd dried. I could then begin the process of first chopping and then grinding them in a small blender. I repeated this process until I got the consistency I wanted. And in no time, I had a jar of basil I could use for seasoning that would last me quite a while. With that done, it was on to using the last of the cucumbers I'd gotten from the garden. I decided to do overnight pickling. That, for me, was the quickest and easiest method. I've included the recipe in the description. It doesn't get more simple than cut the cucumbers into strips, place them into your jars, and add the heated liquid. Put on the tops, let the jars cool, and then place them in the refrigerator, and voila, you have pickles. And finally, seed collection. I've bought seeds in the past, but thoughtfully collecting them is a good way to cut cost. Just be sure there are no restrictions on you collecting them. In an earlier video, I made salsa and saved the seeds from the bell peppers I used. Sunflowers are the easiest. You save the heads, let them dry out, and there are your seeds. You simply pull them off and gather them up. Propagating is another means of overwintering plants, so you're ready to get a head start on the coming year. More than anything, use this time to go back and review without judgment your gardening journey. Once you remove all the shoulds and where you thought you would be, you will begin to realize there were things you learned along the way. And the act of just starting a garden is what will allow the garden to direct you over time. Because the things I learned from mine this year gave me a lot of tools to come out swinging next season. See you next time.